My husband is a chef and we joke, but it's true. We travel for food. We have been to Jamaica multiple times and I've visited a few resorts in the island. So when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, know that it doesn't come from a bad experience. It doesn't come from a bad weekend. It comes from the fact that my husband and I are kind of food snobs, and this is why if you want a destination wedding and you want to go to Jamaica, it's not going to be for the food. Honestly, Jamaica is one of the more popular areas for planning a wedding. For a weekend wedding in beautiful, crystal clear water, it wins. Montego Bay, Ocho, Rios, and Negril, you're not going to be wrong with either one, but if food is an option, then this isn't it. In this video, I'm going to give you my personal opinions as a wedding planner that plans destination weddings for 10 years about why Jamaica works for certain couples for your destination wedding. It might be an unpopular opinion, but it is my opinion. Here's the thing no one tells you. I've tried. I promise I tried. Deep breath. Okay. Deep breath. I'm sorry. Jamaica does not have great food. Listen, they have good food. It's good. And like I said, we travel for the food, but there's only so much jerk chicken a person can eat. And I've tried multiple times different cuisines, and it just doesn't seem like the island culture understands different cuisines to the level that other places do. Here's a nuance. What Jamaica does beautifully: jerk chicken, jerk seasoning in general, seafood, forget it, outstanding. But the kitchens for other cuisines don't work, or at least they fall flat, in my personal opinion. Italian food is not their specialty, but why would it be, right? So if you're at a resort and by night 3 of your wedding weekend, your guests are complaining because they've cycled through the resort's restaurants and they keep eating the same food, there's a reason why. And they might be complaining, which is why one of the questions that I ask during my process for meeting with clients is how important is food? Why does it matter for a wedding specifically? Because you're asking your guests to not just visit for a day, they're planning their entire vacation. So you're asking them for 9, 12, 15 meals, right? Whilst on vacation. And you'd be surprised, but maybe you wouldn't be, how much food is the make or break of a person's vacation. I have had clients who were not happy with everything because of the food. So that's something to keep in mind. So how I plan around it, honestly, if I am talking to couples and they say that food is important, then I immediately cross Jamaica off my list. That's it. Or I do have a few resorts that have better quality in terms of their dining lineup, but the gap between the good ones and the not so good ones is enormous. So my clients who really want Jamaica will only have a few resorts to choose from if food is a priority. And then for the wedding, I'll lean into the authenticness of the cuisine, lean into seafood, lean into jerk chicken. If you want jerk chicken, yes, then that's going to be the main staple of your wedding. You know, we're not going to get the quality of a steakhouse in New York. That's just not going to happen, right? And then the dinner then becomes a showcase of Jamaican cuisine, which can be fabulous, especially if you combine that with the beauty that is the country. Like I had one client who basically just had jerk chicken and beef patties for their wedding dinner, and everybody was the happiest ever. So if your guests' vibe are that, then you're gonna win no matter what. So now when we're talking about weddings in Jamaica, you have to talk about which locations work best. Montego Bay versus Ocho Rios versus Negril. I'm gonna pick those 3. I know there's more, but those are the main 3 in terms of destination weddings, and I'll give you my honest answer. Everyone wants a region breakdown, and that's going to require a lot more information, and it's really just a lot simpler to explain. There really is not too much of a difference in the 3 areas. Every blog has 1,000 words on the vibe of each, but for a wedding group, the vibe is all the same, regardless of which of the locations in Jamaica that you go in. Honestly, it's going to come down to how far you're willing to drive from the airport. I mean, Montego Bay is right there. Like, right there. Like, you can hear the planes landing from your resorts in Montego Bay. Very short transfers. Ocho Rios is about an hour from the airport. And then, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if there's traffic. Negril is gorgeous. And if you're putting grandma in a van, after an international flight for a couple hours, that transfer time is going to be a big factor, because by the time your guests arrive to the resort, how they're feeling is going to affect everything else. And remember, this is your wedding. By the way, if you're planning a wedding in Jamaica and you want the list of resorts that I would recommend that do have the better quality food and are located in the better areas, make sure you click on that calendar link below and schedule an appointment, and we can discuss what your options are. 2 more things before you go, and one of them is spicy. We have to talk numbers. That's obviously going to be your deciding factor when you have a destination wedding. Budget-wise, Jamaica is a toss-up. It could be very, very, very affordable. It could also be towards the top of a destination wedding price range. On average, on the budget side, it could be around $10,000. On average size, it could be around $30,000. It really does depend on the resort. It depends on what add-ons you're doing, etc., etc. But the resort choice is going to be the biggest component behind the budget factor. I will say that Jamaica does tend to cost guests a little bit more. For example, a lot of people think Sandals for a wedding in Jamaica, and they would be right, because Sandals has branded themselves as, one of the best wedding venues, but it comes at a premium cost. Jamaica, incredible island, amazing people, gorgeous water, not great food. So pick your region or pick your resort based off of what you prioritize as important. Know that the budget needs to be discussed at the very beginning. $10K to $30K, that's a big difference. And if you've been to Jamaica, tell me what resort you found good cuisine in, because I will try to go visit that one next and see if you can prove me wrong. Oh, also, if you want my full, honest, hot takes on Sandals, I'm going to make a separate video and I'll put that link down below. It might surprise you.